Well, hello there again, beautiful people. Welcome to part 3 of this Escape Crow's Nest Icarus that I'm doing for myself, actually. What I have been doing since we have met before is I have kind of wallowed out some of these holes here so as I can put my front fins on, sort of like that. And you know, it's funny because I'm looking at these and this is the only thruster on this ship. That is so funny. The only thruster. There's no more thrusters. There are no thrusters back here. And there's definitely no thrusters here, which this is the back. It's just like a... It's really weird. The only thrusters, and I don't think those little bitty things could power the whole ship. So, funny again. Funny what Hollywood can do, ain't it? Okay, so what this thing... One breath of fresh air of this kit that I have that I didn't have with my Wilco kit, which is right there. I put that together about a year ago. And one thing I didn't have, I have the luxury on this one that I didn't have on that one, is these things right here. You've got these little tabs, these little markers here, to where it just kind of fits these winglets in place. If they're fit in place, so you know exactly where they go. Those winglets, I had to figure that out all by myself, just kind of eyeball it, and that was a little bit interesting to do, but it worked out. But oh boy, this makes it a whole lot easier and a whole lot nicer. So I'm going to use this 15-minute epoxy, and I'm going to put these winglets on first thing before I break them, because they are extremely fragile, and once they get on the ship, they will be pretty much good to go. So let me do that real quick, and then we'll go from there. Alrighty, a slight change of plans. As you can see, I put my little winglets on, my wings and winglets, and they look really good, really nice. Yeah, don't worry about all that. It's going to be all cleaned up later, so don't worry about that. But change of plans. This is what I had to do. Sadly, kind of understandable. I had to do away with my beautiful flashers that goes on this back panel right here, as these right here, as there's no room for them. This back right here is supposed to be removable to so I can get access to the batteries and a power switch. And so, see, I mean, it may not seem like much, but when you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of these, you know, and you know, space is extremely limited even still. So I had to do away with those for space sake, and I think it was a good compromise. I think it was a really good compromise. And I was planning on putting these coin cell holders right here and putting the wires in here. Not gonna happen. That is not gonna happen. So the wires is gonna go here, and both coin cells is going to go in there. So I just kind of dremeled that out with my Dremel, and they'll just kind of just stick in there like that, yeah, and they'll go in flush. So no real problems of fitting issues. Get it in there. It's being stubborn. Get it in there. Yeah, something like that. So yeah, the hole ain't perfect. I don't really care right now. I'm just kind of I'm really right now wanting it for functionality more than pretty, because this thing's gonna be closing that up, so you won't even be able to see that unless you open it up and take the batteries out, and I don't really care because that's just not going to really be seen that much. So, and also what I did is I'm going to have to super glue this, and here I don't want to epoxy it because epoxy is way too thick, and I need all the room I can get because I may have to do some finagling to pop this on. But this is going to go in there like this, and so I'm going to super glue that in, and so in so doing, as you probably know, super glue kind of leaves white film sometimes, and to keep that from happening to my clear parts, my little computer reels, I masked them over, put some liquid mask on them, you can see. Kind of mask the clear plastic over, because being close to the super glue I'm going to be using, it would probably fog that up, but now it won't do that. And when I get it put together and closed up, I should be able to get in there with some tweezers through this door, this hatch, and pop that film off. So that is good to go. That's another good reason and good reason to have this liquid mask is stuff like that as well. I mean, it's so nice. And I had to make some I had to make a few little compromises on each side. I had to break off some pieces. It ain't gonna be seen. I know it looks bad, but these little ends, they're not gonna be seen, but I had to do that so that I can make some room for these wires right here. I didn't take account, and when I glued this thing in, I failed to put them down here, and they were kind of left up here, so I kind of had to wrap them, push them down and wrap them back out, those little tabs right there where I was planning them coming out, but I failed to put the wires down, so it kind of left that. And so to save that room and to keep that, to keep it from obstructing, I had to cut those off. But like I said, you ain't gonna even see that, so that's really no problem. Okay, I got my back wall glued in. I've got some issues though. I got my wires tucked in there just to kind of put it out of the way for now, but I've got some fitting issues right here, which ain't gonna go all the way through. So what I'm probably gonna do is carefully see if I can trim some of that down a little bit right there, and also down here kind of trim that down, and plus maybe trim down some of this right here just a little bit and see if I can kind of get that to work. I must have put it on a little bit wrong, I'm not sure, but it's close, but I want it to fit, you know what I mean? I want it to fit right in there, so I'm gonna have to work on that a little bit and see what I can come up with. Okay, I think I have figured out why I have ever seen anybody do this and make this battery operated. It is because it is a lot of work to do. What I had to do, and I've still got a lot of work to do, was I tried taking that down a little bit, which, taking it down some more, and it helped. And I took this down a little bit too, kind of wallowed that out a little bit more so I'd have some good, so it wouldn't, it'd push in a little bit better. But we found out when I pushed it in, there was hardly any room over here for wiring and stuff. So what I did was I just kind of built this back up just a little bit. Just kind of built it up a little bit back here. I know this thing is a mess right now. It's in that ugly stage that I hate, that I was telling you about on the other build. It goes through pretty stages, and it goes through ugly stages, it goes through pretty stages again. Well, this is just ugly, but I'm going to Bondo all of this and get this to where this is completely smooth, and this layer ain't seen. It'll look like it's just part of this thing right here. So but I did that, and it helped and kind of brought this backing out a little bit more. Yeah, you can kind of see how it does. Yeah, kind of like that, and that's going to look pretty good. But like I said, I got some Bondo work to do here to get that fixed. And I use just kind of like this tubing, or this little plastic rods, it's bendable, so I kind of bent it to the contour. Some of the contour isn't good. I'm going to fill the rest in with some putty, and that should help it make it seat better, but it's going to be held in with magnets. So but it helped it to kind of bring this out just a little bit, enough to where it kind of gives it something to hang on to, and none of this is kind of catching on it right here. So I'm just kind of having to rethink some things out, and make sure, because some things popped up that I hadn't really thought about, but I think that's part of the process. But I'm having fun. Hey y'all, I'm having such fun trying to navigate through and compromise. But, right now, let me put some Bondo on here and get that fixed up. And of course, I gotta sand some of this stuff. It's gonna work. Oh, it's definitely gonna work. It's just a matter of doing some extra work to accommodate what I'm wanting for it. So yeah. Oh no, definitely, it's definitely gonna work. So we're doing just fine. Okay, so maybe now you can kind of see what I'm driving at. You see, I've puttied up that back right there. I've got a lot more to do, but that will start it off. And I'll just kind of build that up till that just smooths out and just becomes part of the ship, that tubing. So I think that'll do nicely, and it's gonna be good, because it's gonna give this, it just brought it out like, what, that much. But that much right there is spaceship saver, if I put it that way. Because yeah, I mean, just that much little space. That's how little space I'm working with on this thing. But I really do think that we can pull this thing off. So let me do some more work and get this thing started cleaning up. I need to do the windows in a little bit because I'm gonna be doing some sanding and I want to keep dust off of that. So okay, we're looking good. I'll be back in just a bit. And of course, the other project that I am working on for my client Thomas is the bridge. It's really coming along nicely. I already installed once again my my little slip for my screens. I didn't think I could do it again, but I guess it can be done again. I did it a little bit differently this time because I had different stuff, but it looks really good. So yeah. And I just put on the lighting. I gotta clean all that up, so don't worry about that. But I just put on all the lighting, and so I'm just kind of looking it over, and everything seems to be working very nicely. Alrighty, folks. I went ahead and I got all my wires connected and put together, and it really looks good in there. I also got my windows in there, and I used some canopy glue to put those on, and those really look good. I just think it's really cool for it to be battery operated, but what I had to do was I had to do a lot of stuff. I was going to put these up here and then put these wires in here. That did not work. That was just not going to work. So what I had to end up doing was I just ended up putting my two coin cell holders right in there. That's what those are, is coin cell holders in there, and they just fit nicely in there. And so yeah, that's kind of a little funky. I'll have to see if I can figure another way to do that, but so it'll fit good in here now. And as you can see, I've got the things bondoed. I've got this thing bondoed, so it is, I have put about a couple, I don't know how many millimeters more length on this thing, about probably that much right there. As you can see, I'll probably have to rebondo that some, but that kind of give you an idea, because like I said, I used that rod, that little plastic rod, just went around it, and it kind of gave me just a bit more room to pop this thing in, and so that will magnetize to that, and that'll look really good. But I gotta clean that ugly mess up. That's nothing. But okay, let's take a look inside. So what I actually did divide this thing into two different types of lighting. I should have thought, I've got I don't know if you could see it. I have, yeah, it is a little bit. You can kind of see I have got a switch in there, and that is for the console lighting. And then I've got another switch, and that is for the regular interior lighting. But if I would have thought, I would have gotten another one of these switches and embedded it in here on this other side, and that would have been a whole lot better than this, because this is, this is going to be for the just regular interior illumination lighting. But it is what it is, and I'm just going to kind of leave it the way it is, because it's functional. It is functional. So, but I was planning on touch wires, just that didn't work out really well. So, but it still is going to be it's still going to be divided into two lightings. And then of course I had to, like I said, sadly I had to compromise my flashing LEDs back here, which looks so good. But let me turn this thing on for you, since I'm sure you're dying with suspense. So this, again, this switch is for the console lighting. So let me turn this on, and my finger just fits right in there, and boom, there's your console lighting. And let me turn this on right here. It's a little dusty in there. I got to get some dust out. But that looks really, it looks pretty cool in there. It ain't too bad. Yeah, it's not bad. I got a couple little light bleeds in there on my console. I'm going to see if I can fix that up. I thought I fixed it, but it doesn't look like I fixed it good enough. So I think I'd be able to get a brush in there and carefully get that. As you can see, those lights there is really, really standing out. Those are really cool. I'm really, really glad I was able to do that. But so almost all of my gluing is pretty much done. I just got to get seams fixed up and get things fixed up. I got to put magnets in a little place. I got to put magnets for this this little hatch right here, and I got to put magnet for this, and then I got to put a magnet for this. But let me just show you some little things I did if you haven't seen yet. Okay, so if you watch that hatch in there real quick, just kind of watch it real quick, see if I can get this thing in there. This ain't gonna be easy. Let me see if I can get that in there. Carefully, not break nothing. Look at that. See the hatch? Woohoo! I'm so excited about that. You know, it just fascinates me. You know, if I was able to shrink myself real little and get in there, yeah, I'd be able to open that hatch in there. Oh, I'm sorry. I was so nutty about stuff like that. Just, I mean, even though it's not really easy accessible, just the thought of knowing that it can do that to me, it just drives me insanely nuts. So I'm really glad that worked out as well. It really looks good. The hinge is a little bit big. I mean, it's not like accurate like in the show, but I mean, that's really the best that I could do on that. But I think it looks good for what I'm wanting it for. I think it's looking really good. Take this out, focus. So yeah, let me show you the tunnel real quick. Really looking good. Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you, Drew really know how to he knew how to build models. I'm gonna tell you, that's like a movie shot right there, nearly. And so all my gluing is done. It's all finished. I just got to do my magnets now, and I also got to do a lot of cleanup work before we get into some painting. I mean, we are fixing to get into some painting, so that is really, really exciting. I'm really excited about that. But okay, so that's what I got to do, and what I want to show you as well. What I am still working on is Thomas's bridge, and it's looking really good. I'm doing a few things a little bit differently to see if I can enhance this thing a little bit. I'm just kind of, I know it looks like a crazy mess right now, but I'm just kind of covering things up right now. Then I'm going to go over it with some masking tape, and he suggested getting some of this wider. I mean, wider. That's what, 4 inches, 3 inches. That's pretty wide. So that'll almost be one piece of tape right there, so that's good. So I'm gonna try that out and see how that looks, and I think that'll look pretty nice. And then over here we have got, I haven't opened it yet, but I'm not sure if it's going to be on any of my videos, and I'm not sure. It might be, but this is Mobius Lost in Space Jupiter, and this is going to Canada actually when I get done with it. Yeah, it's going to Canada, a long way. And this is from my good friend Cal, and what I've got are these figures from Green Strawberry. This is the Dr. Smith from the first episode on Lost in Space. You could see his attire is that crazy Colonel suit or something. I think he's Colonel. And then there's the robot. This kit is uncanny. I mean, it has got detail like you just wouldn't believe. It's incredible detail in here. Let's see if I can get it out here. I'll just show you. Yeah, you could just look at the photo etch and stuff. It's nuts. Yeah, that's a lot of work. That's a lot of work, but it's worth it, because you know, once you get it done and you get it done right, it's gonna look really, really nice. It's gonna look good. So it kind of reminds me, I think, of the Larson design robot that I think used to be out. I did that one time, and of course the bubble, interestingly, is full. You know, it's not in two parts. You know, like a vacuum cast dome. You know, it's two domes. You know, or two dome halves. You know, like that you have to put together, which can be murder sometimes. This is pretty full, so that's pretty interesting and pretty cool. So very nice. And so I got a lot more stuff. I got the Robinson figures from Green Strawberry coming in, and they are going to go in the freezing tubes. So, and I got a lot of other stuff coming in. This is going to be a huge build. I'm not sure if you've seen my video of the Jupiter 2 on my YouTube page. If you look on there, you will see the build of the Jupiter 2. It's just the RCP video, or the red carpet production video. That's what I call it. And it's just one that I've had and got rid of a couple of years ago, but it's really full of interior lighting and stuff, and so that's what I'm doing for him. It's pretty much one of those. So, but that's looking good. But okay, let me get some work done on this Icarus, and I just tell you again, I'm just going to show you my mess. Can I show you my mess? Look at my mess. I mean, this is how I work. I'm not ashamed of it either, because you know what? I'm human just like anybody else. So yeah, I gotta clean all that up. It's so funny. It's so funny, but it's gonna get cleaned up. But it's a mess and it's funny. But you know, that's just kind of the way I work, and I'll get it cleaned up in the end of the day, and we'll make everything look nice and good right now. But right now I am in the heat of work and just work, and I will I'll get that cleaned up. I'm more about getting work done than I am about cleaning up right now. So okay, so let me get some more stuff done, and I will get back with you. Okay, I wanted to show you what I come up with. Well, first thing, I got my magnet on here, and let's see, it works. So that works. It looks really good. It's working very nicely. So I'm really glad about that. Yeah, and it won't fall off. Okay, so but that's not my worry. What happened is here. First off, I have my magnet here. I got my magnets on. And so I noticed that this little thing right here was very uneven. It kind of is still little, but I'm going to hand sand that just a little bit to make that look a little bit better. But yeah, it was a little bit uneven. Right up in here, I had some chips on it and stuff. I kind of smoothed it out just a bit more. And in so doing, let me see if I can do this. Oh boy, get in there. Yeah, in so doing, I kind of made this cone right here. It's, you know, it's got a little gap on it. So what I think I'm going to do is use, once again, this little method that I used here on the bottom, is use something like this and go all the way around this thing and just kind of build it up like that, and then I will build it up with Bondo. This is just going to be used for to help build it up, but the Bondo is going to kind of smooth everything all over, and I think that's the way I'm going to have to do this, and that should be probably good enough. But yeah, you can see that gap right there. That's pretty not real good. So I'll get that fixed up, and we'll make that look real nice and pretty and back where it's supposed to be. Show you what I just did. I just put the a little rod on. I put it all the way around, and look at it now. So all I got to do now is just build that up with Bondo, and that should fix that gap pretty nicely. And I shouldn't have to do too much more to it. Oh yeah, it looks nice. Looks very nice. Alright, once again you can see what I think you can see what I'm trying to do now, which is going to work. It's going to work nicely, but I gotta let that dry for a bit, and then I will sand that down and see if we can get that like one piece. So kind of interesting. I'm having to bring it out a little bit out here and bring it out a little bit up here, or kind of just, it'd be the same way up here, but of course back here it's a couple of millimeters, I guess is what you call it, millimeters, a bit longer. So but it's really coming along, really looking good. So I gotta let this dry for a bit, and then now I've got to tackle and figure out how this magnet is going to go. See, I'm tackling one giant at a time. One giant at a time. Because usually when you're able to tackle one giant, it helps you to be able to tackle another giant, or the next giant. And I've learned that to be true, so that is what I am doing, and it's working. It's definitely working. Okay, so what I did is I put the magnets on the nose cone. I put the magnets on my hatch here. And you can see the other sides right there and right there. And it just pops right in place. Very nice, but right here I'm not really crazy about my cone magnet here. Like, watch. Just a little bit of shaking, and it's not very strong. The only reason I need this magnet is to, these magnets is to open and close my hatch in there, and of course so you can see the tube, but escape tube, but you know, I mean, I'm gonna put functionality, and I'm going to put rationality ahead of looks and show off, and I think it's a good compromise. So this little This thing in here is not gonna be, it's not gonna ever be seen in there. So I'm gonna epoxy this. I'm gonna glue it in place, and I'm gonna be done with it because I don't like the way that's doing. Yeah, I don't like the way that does. That's just way too that's not good traction. That's not good sticking ability. So yeah, I'm just gonna glue that shut, and then we're just gonna leave it like that, and then I think it'll probably actually look better because you won't have a seam here. So that's what I'm gonna do with this. So that's what we're gonna plan to do. Okay, to show you another little update that I did, I put the magnet on, and it looks like it's gonna be one magnet. What I did is I hot glued it in place. I kind of did that for temporary reasons, just so as I could see. Look at that. That's a nice little thing. What I had to do was here, as you can see, I had some gaps right here. This thing is crazy, but I had some gaps right here because I had, or not gaps, I had some stick out a little bit, and you can kind of see a little bit of the stick out right there. Yeah, it's pretty wide, pretty thick. So I took some smaller tubing about this size, and just kind of went around the edge, all the way around on here, just to kind of build that up one layer. And of course I'm putting some Bondo on it to kind of fix it up, but I think it's going to work. What I'm probably going to do again is just because it's a little bit uneven, so I think I'm going to layer or put some Bondo, kind of, you know, apply a pretty thick amount in here and on this side while it's off, and then smush them together. And I think that may contour a little bit better. I'm not sure, but I think it may make it look a little better. But it's looking a whole lot better. But yeah, it needs some more. It needs just a bit more work, but it's coming along. So we're getting there. Alrighty, so I'm just gonna kind of clean this thing up a little bit, see if I can get some of the ugly out, and see if I can get this kind of nice and smooth over. And let's see if we can get this thing looking good before I start painting it. And I gotta also, I'm gonna be sanding these, you know, all these little seams to get some of that excess epoxy off of it before I do some seam work on those too. So let me get started. I think I'm gonna try using this hand sander, and see if I can get this junk off. So okay, let's get started. Okay, so I had to stop it to show you what I had to go and do. Had to do some modifications. What I did was I went in there and put a bit thicker. It's like this kind of tube. It's a plastic tube, kind of like the smaller one I did like on here, and I did underneath this one. You can see the tubing there. There's a little bit, but I had to put another one, which was this big fat one right here, to because I mean there's a little bit less room than I thought there was to work with. That's up backwards. Let me put it this way. There we go. So it should be good now. I'm gonna put some Bondo on that, and that should fill up that little gap right there. But yeah, I think we're gonna be okay now. I had to give it just a bit more lip there, so this thing could go on for these magnets, because these magnets have some thickness to them too on both sides. So I kind of had to make room for that. So. But yeah, that's just part of it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to re-bondo this and make sure and make this white tubing part of the ship now, like I did on here and like I did behind that white tubing. So let me do that real quick, and then I will show you the result of it. Okay, dear friends, I wanted to show you my bridge is finished. It is absolutely finished. It is ready to send to my good client, Thomas. And so you can see there is an interchangeable screen right there. I did it again, you know. I didn't think I could do it, but I was able to do it again. And I was able to cover this up. And I think it looks really good. Here are my other screens. And just kind of show you some of the sound. Yeah. You can really see that those candy buttons, I mean, that Tamiya transparent paint does its job. It makes it look, I mean, so cool. You know, and then of course doing that, like if you saw my other bridge video the other day, or the other couple of months, I believe it was. Yeah, a couple months ago. I put the hot glue on the other side, you know, made a hole where these were to go in, and it shows these photo etch, you know, they have, there's no plastic underneath them, so I was able to put that hot glue up in there, and then that gave the Tamiya transparent paint something to lay onto, which just, you know, gave it, of course. So I may be rambling. I'm sorry. I'm really excited though. It looks really good. It really does look good, and I'm really pleased with it, and I know he will be too. So okay, that will be the last you'll see of this one. All right, another one accomplished. Now let's look at the Jupiter 2. And so this is currently what the Jupiter 2 pretty much kind of looks like right now. Yeah, I kind of did some consoling, or some cutting out on some consoles, but like, yeah, you can see right there, I'm just kind of getting that ready to cut out for lighting and stuff. I got that one cut out, and yeah, I gotta wait for some consoles to come in before I can get that ready for, get that ready so as I can light it. And I got this screen cut out. It's not perfect, it's not going to really be seen where it is, so I'm not really working on it being perfect, just as long as I have those holes out so that light will come through. And let's see, yeah, these I sanded those down, you know, those little buttons and things. I just kind of went ahead and sanded those down. But when the consoles get here, I'll be getting into that and getting those cut out and stuff. So yeah, looking good. And of course, there is my computers right there. I'm going to be lighting these as well. I have a certain way that I light these, and it kind of comes out, looks pretty good once I do them. So okay, so I believe that's all on that Jupiter. And my figures, let me just kind of show you these figures here. I'm kind of waiting for those to dry, but those are from Green Strawberry. Nice little figures. Very nice. They're going to go inside the freezing tubes. And then it looks like we've got some landing gear put together. And of course these, I don't know what you call them, but they go behind the freezing tubes somehow. And there's Dr. Smith put together. I've just got to get him painted up, or she's got to get him painted up. Yeah, we're coming along a little bit slowly on this one, but it is coming along. So, but that is those. Alrighty, I believe I got it just about pretty much where I want it. I probably need to do some more sanding a little bit, but I think that'll be smooth enough where I can work. But you can kind of see how much I had to build it up there. You can see how thick that is. So the back's a mess, but it's coming along. So what it's going to look like is like that. So, but I think I may have a few little things I still have to do, but I think that'll look decent enough for what I want it for. And so yeah, I think that'll do good. But what I've got to do next is I've got to do these seams right here. I've got to fix these. Of course, I got to fix this cone right here, and I got to fix these seams and fix these little seams back here. So I still got some stuff I've got to do, but I think I'm gonna call it a program on this one, and then we will resume on the next program, as I do not want this to start getting too long where it bores you. But I'll kind of show you a little bit on my Jupiter 2 that I'm doing here. You can probably recognize those are the seats, and I'm just kind of getting these primed up right now. I'm fixing to take them in there and start airbrushing this stuff silver. I'm waiting on the photo etch to come in to do the consoles and stuff. But yeah, for right now, I'm just kind of doing it little by little. But it'll be looking really good, and then this one will be really looking good too real soon. I think at the next episode, we will be getting this thing painted up and getting it ready for decals and stuff. So yeah, it's looking really good, looking really nice. So I'm really pleased with it. I'm really happy the way that a little magnet turned out, and how I had to go in there and build that up wasn't really easy, but it's gonna work. You know, it's gonna work out fine. So good deal. And let me see, it works both ways. So let me just see. Yeah, it seems to fit better like that. Okay, so all right, I believe that will do it. Okay, I got the bridge done, and I'm ready to send it to Thomas. I'm sure he is very happy to get it, and of course I'm still working on that Jupiter 2, which is pretty big as well, so really cool stuff. And be sure to stay tuned for the next part on this Icarus build to see how it comes out. It looks like we're going to be able to get it painted up on the next episode, and I think I'm going to probably make 2 more parts out of this series. Just you know, to make it, you know, look really nice and everything. And then I may continue this on with the Jupiter 2. I'm not sure yet. I may just kind of do a spin-off kind of a series with the Jupiter 2. We'll see. But yeah, it's everything's coming along really good. I really appreciate you watching. I really appreciate your support and coming on, watching me build a model for 30 minutes on Tuesday evenings at 6 p.m. and having a blast. So until the next time I see you again, please people, please be safe, take care, and keep modeling.